August 9th, 1986. The sun was setting over Knebworth Park, Hertfordshire, but the night was just beginning. More than 120,000 fans packed into the massive open-air venue, their voices a deafening roar even before a single note was played. This was the final night of Queen's Magic Tour. Though nobody in the crowd knew it, it would also be the last live concert Freddie Mercury would ever perform. Backstage, Freddie was slipping into his now iconic white tank top and tight faded jeans. From the outside, he looked unshakable, the very picture of a rock god ready to conquer yet another stadium. But inside, he was facing a battle only a few people knew about. That morning, his doctor had delivered worrying news. His throat was inflamed, his voice dangerously strained. Performing tonight could push him to his limits. Freddie's answer? The same as always. The show must go on. And so, at precisely 6:41 p.m., as the first chords of One Vision blasted from the stage, the crowd erupted. It felt like the ground itself was shaking. Fans miles away claimed that they could hear the music. The air was electric, but the night ahead would hold unexpected tragedy, backstage explosions, and one haunting farewell that would echo for decades. Freddie's journey to this night began far from the flashing lights of rock concerts. Born Farrokh Bulsara on September 5, 1946, in the British protectorate of Zanzibar, he was the son of Parsi parents who followed the ancient religion of Zoroastrianism. From birth, he was different literally. He had 4 extra teeth, something he believed helped give him his powerful 4-octave vocal range. At 8 years old, his parents sent him to St. Peter's, a British-style boarding school in India. It was here he started calling himself Freddie and developed a deep love for music. His first band, the Hectics, played covers of Western rock hits, while Freddie absorbed the soaring vocals of Bollywood legends like Lata Mangeshkar. This fusion of Western rock and Indian melody would become a hidden ingredient in Queen's distinctive sound. But in 1964, political upheaval changed everything. The Zanzibar Revolution turned violent, and Freddie's family fled to England to escape the bloodshed. They settled in a modest home near London. Freddie had lost his homeland, but he had found a new stage for his dreams. In England, Freddie pursued art and design, studying at Ealing Art College and supporting himself with odd jobs, including washing dishes at Heathrow Airport. But music was always pulling at him. Through friends, he met Brian May and Roger Taylor, who were then part of a band called Smile. When their lead singer left in 1970, Freddie stepped in, bringing with him a bold new name, Queen. He even designed the band's crest, blending the zodiac signs of its members into a regal emblem. The early years were tough. Their first albums failed to make much impact. But in 1974, Sheer Heart Attack and its hit single, Killer Queen, put them on the map. Freddie had written the song in one night, starting with the lyrics rare for him and telling the tale of a high-class courtesan. Brian May's guitar solo, played with a 6-pence coin, and the layered production made it unforgettable. Still, it was Bohemian Rhapsody in 1975 that launched Queen into the stratosphere. 6 minutes long, wildly experimental, and unlike anything on the radio, the song initially scared record executives. But after DJ Kenny Everett secretly played it 14 times in one weekend, the public fell in love. It spent 9 weeks at #1 in the UK, cementing Queen's place in rock history. When Queen began, Freddie often stayed anchored behind the piano, shy and cautious. But one night, fate intervened. His microphone stand snapped mid-song, leaving him with only the top half. Instead of stopping, he improvised, strutting across the stage with it. That broken stand became part of his identity, a prop he used for the rest of his career. His fashion was just as daring as his performances. Black nail polish, satin jumpsuits, sequin leotards, nothing was too bold. In 1976, he debuted the now famous Harlequin jumpsuit, so tight it had to be sewn onto him before each show. By the 1980s, Freddie had reinvented himself again. Short hair, a thick mustache, leather trousers, and military-style jackets inspired by the New York gay club scene. Freddie didn't just perform songs, he told stories with his body, his outfits, and his energy. He could be camp and outrageous in one moment, then deeply emotional the next, and that's why fans adored him. But behind the glitter and glamour, tensions brewed. In the early 80s, Queen's experiment with disco and funk on Hot Space divided fans and the band itself. John Deacon abruptly disappeared to Bali without warning. Brian May stormed out of recording sessions. Their controversial performance in apartheid South Africa drew condemnation worldwide. Then came July 13, 1985, Live Aid. Queen took the stage at 6:41 p.m. for a 21-minute set that has since been called the greatest live rock performance of all time. Freddie's voice, charisma, and command of the crowd were unmatched. Elton John, watching from the wings, summed it up perfectly. "You stole the show." Live Aid reignited Queen's spirit, leading to the A Kind of Magic album and the ambitious 1986 Magic Tour. The stage was gargantuan, 160 feet wide, twin walkways stretching into the crowd, and a 20-foot video screen so massive it required its own generator. By the time they reached Knebworth Park, excitement had reached fever pitch. Fans traveled from across Europe, camping for days to secure a good spot. But Freddie's voice was struggling. His doctor advised against performing. Freddie, as always, refused to back down. Early in the set, his voice cracked during under pressure. Instead of retreating, he thrust the mic toward the audience, turning the moment into a powerful sing-along. The crowd responded with deafening unity. But not everyone would leave that concert alive. During Who Wants to Live Forever, 23-year-old Michael Jennings collapsed just 50 meters from the stage. He had won his ticket in a radio contest and told friends it was the best night of his life. Moments later, an undiagnosed heart condition claimed him. The medics tried everything, but he was gone before the night ended. Queen wouldn't learn of the tragedy until after the show. It was a sobering reminder of how intense and overwhelming live music could be. Backstage, just minutes before showtime, John Deacon, the quiet, reserved bassist, snapped. He hurled his bass across the dressing room, nearly hitting Roger Taylor's drum tech. No one had ever seen him lose control like that. Later, Deacon told Brian May, "I can't do this anymore." He sensed, perhaps before anyone else, that this might be the last time the four of them would ever share a stage. After the final song, "We Are the Champions," Freddie didn't linger for the usual celebrations. He left the stage almost immediately, slipping past the crew and into the car waiting to take him back to London. In the back seat, he sat quietly, staring out the window. He occasionally dabbed at his eyes with a handkerchief. Earlier that day, he'd received a phone call from his doctor that would have weighed heavily on him. Roger Taylor recalled finding him alone in the dressing room before they left. Freddie looked up and said, "Darling, I think I've given it my all." At the time, Taylor thought he meant the show. Now he wonders if Freddie was saying goodbye. In 1987, Freddie was diagnosed with HIV. He told very few people, keeping the truth from the public for as long as possible. The stigma surrounding AIDS in the 1980s was vicious, and Freddie refused to let it overshadow his music. Yet he worked relentlessly. For The Show Must Go On, Brian May doubted Freddie could handle the vocals. Freddie downed a shot of vodka, grinned and said, "I'll do it, darling." He delivered the track in one flawless take. Less than 24 hours later, Freddie Mercury was gone. He was only 45 years old, but his final concert at Knebworth Park remains more than just a historical footnote. It was the culmination of decades of artistry, defiance, and love for his audience. For those who were there, it was a night when music history was written in real time and a final, bittersweet gift from a man who gave everything to the stage.